John Stavros is here. Just opened the Kingston Pop Museum on Broadway in Kingston. A long time rock and roll career and a fabulous career. What was your first rock and roll gig, John? What was the first thing you got paid for in rock and
I
roll?
got paid for the first gig. I think was $35 or $34 at the Singer Bowl, Howard Stein's Singer Bowl Pavilion in 1968. That was the with Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and the Chambers Brothers. So that was my first paid gig.
Okay.
And
What were you doing? What was your job?
my job was to hang out backstage. I was a soccer.
Hold Jimi Hendrix up or something
No,
like
no, keep people out from backstage. Jimi Hendrix, I don't think anyone could have held him up.
No.
He stood on his own. But that was my first experience, and I kind of fell in love with it because everyone was, I think, tripping that day on Orange Sunshine.
Maybe.
Yeah,
1968.
right.
That could have happened.
But it was an amazing concert. All three of them with the round stage spinning around, and I think I was the only one there that was like strong enough to kind of take care of people backstage because everyone was kind of in the zone. And I myself lost it at the end of the night with Johnny Thunders. We went to high school together.
You went to school with Johnny Thunders.
Yeah, Newtown High
And
School.
here you are, sitting here, still alive.
And
Thank
Gene
God.
Klein as well. Gene Simmons, Kiss.
Right.
So all of us graduated Newtown. We used to hang out at the wrestling gym. You know, gym. During those years,
Yeah.
gym was a big thing.
I can't imagine Johnny Thunders.
He was pretty tough.
Was he?
He was tough. I mean, nice little Italian kid from Jackson Heights, you know. But he had a criminal mind, you know.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll tell you about it later. With
Yeah,
Led
there's a
Zeppelin.
lot of stories we shouldn't say on the radio.
Well, with Led Zeppelin, a year later, he comes backstage with his he had a station wagon. So after the concert was over, he pulls the station wagon backstage and he asked me if I can load in Jimmy Page's Marshall amplifier. I
Into
said,
his car?
into his car. I loved him, you know. He also used to sell me leather because he used to work in a leather shop down by University Place right there. And then, of course, he would ask me to make him leather pants and not pay for them. So he used to give me free leather skins.
Okay.
Crazy time.
All right. So throughout the 60s, you stayed in the city. You were working in the city.
Yeah.
Got involved with Andy Warhol and all those guys.
Well, in 68, from 68 to 71, after the concerts at the Pavilion in Flushing Meadow Park, we would go to clubs in New York. You know, one of the clubs was the Electric Circus, Jerry Brandt. And there underneath, Andy Warhol had his thing with Velvet Underground and Lou Reed and all those people. So it was kind of an interesting time due to the fact that we were very rebellious and we didn't want to sleep. So we were up like almost every night. Then Max's Kansas City opened around the corner. And the big club for me was the Nobody's on Bleecker Street, next to the Bitter End. That was where all the English, British rockers would come. Rod Stewart, Jeff Beck, all those guys, and I became like really friends with all of them because they all love football. So we had a common thing, soccer and rock and roll, and also the fact that they were young, full of energy, and I respected. Those kind of musicians coming over to America, and also they had style. You know, they used to wear satin pants and high heels.
So this weekend is a big event. You have an opening reception on Friday. You're going to be painting a Volkswagen at Kingston Volkswagen on Saturday, and a Volkswagen parade on Sunday. You have the Kingston Pop Museum right on Broadway in Kingston. What kind of stuff do you have? How long have you had this place, John?
Okay, what happened in New York is after 30 years having PMP Studios and 320 Studios, where we produced over 300 events a year. And PMP Studios, our clients were soccer teams like Manchester United, Playboy TV. I created a show called Night Calls, other stuff. It was time for me to just get out of Midtown Manhattan because I needed a space that I can warehouse all the art and all the memorabilia that I collected through 50 years of my life. So I needed a space that I can pretty much bring people and show them that, hey, this is all Billy Coyne's personal stuff from the band, from Kiss and Billy Idol. This is Andy Warhol files. This is Salvador Dali's things. So I decided that I needed to get out of New York and find a building that it can sort of allow me to create, produce, manage, discover artists, and show them how things are done, and then let them give it back to the community. So I bought the building, I think, 5 years ago. It took me 4 years of construction, gutted out everything, brought 4-inch black pipe from across Broadway to the building so our sprinkler system works.
Good.
So I did pretty much all the work that everyone should be doing in some of these really beautiful houses. Instead of just doing cosmetic work, they should really, get
Work on the guts.
guts and bring them back to life. And the idea of having a brick building and having 6 apartments upstairs for my artists, the people that I work with, gives me a closer relationship with who I'm working with to develop as the next celebrity or the next star that I can then help promote and sort of direct them in a positive way. And then hopefully they learn and give it back to the community. And that's one way. So that was my dream of doing it. And now we're in operation and things are working. And of course, I've discovered some amazing artists, both locally and from different parts of the world. So we are now a full sort of production, promotional marketing company based in our own building.
Oh, great. So you have art, you have rock and roll memorabilia all through the years.
And there's furniture. Like all I have Pete Diddy's desk from making the band. I have Todd Rundgren's little art speakers from, his studio in New York, Secret Sound. I have all of Billy Coyne's memorabilia from his office. I mean, his personal stuff, his books. I have all of Andy Warhol's files, construction. And in fact, I know how much financially he was worth in 1983. What else? I have Mark Bolan's snakeskin shoes.
Nice.
When he was in when he was in T-Rex.
Yeah.
So I kept a lot of things, and pretty much I also have all of my soccer trophies. My whole life as a soccer player, I've kept everything, all the articles. I have all my samples of all the clothing that I've designed from '68. That's going to be the last show of the year, a retrospective of 50 years of fashion.
Okay.
I kept all the samples. So there's a lot more things from movies. Like I have all of Tracy Lord's costumes from the movie Skinner and Ricky Lake's. There is every tape that I've shot when the years that I was working with Playboy. So every behind the scenes stuff, and I mean I can spend hours and hours telling you what's there, but pretty much it's just a lot of history that has been transferred from Midtown Manhattan to Kingston, New York.
Sunday is a Volkswagen parade from the museum, leaving around noon, and then coming here to the Radio Woodstock studios on Sunday afternoon. So as many Volkswagens as possible. Anybody who wants to join in can join in.
As long as they dress up their Volkswagen.
Oh, you have to dress. Oh, okay.
Dress up the Volkswagen. Show some love. The whole thing is about love. So either you wear, some hippie clothes, or dress yourself up, dress your Volkswagen up, and then of course you can win some money. You can win some tickets to the Steve Miller band. You can win some art. It should be fun. The idea came about, of course, in '69 during the Woodstock Festival. I got stuck backstage with Fleetwood Mac at the Pavilion, thinking we're going to leave the next morning. All the stagehands had left the Pavilion to go build the stage at Woodstock. I remained loyal to my boss, Howard Stein, so I kind of stayed behind, thinking, all right, I'll just catch a ride with my Volkswagen the next day with my dog, Zach. Sure enough, in the morning, Zach was ready, I put $3 of gasoline. $3, believe it or
Filled
not,
it up.
filled it up.
Yeah.
Now it's $20 to fill up a Volkswagen. So if you know Volkswagens, $3 used to fill up a tank, and that
Yeah.
was good enough to come to Woodstock and maybe back. But what happened was on the way here, Tappan Zee Bridge, we were listening to WPIX. I don't know if it was the Nightingale or whatever her name was. And she at first announced that 87 is closed. And sure enough, we couldn't move. We couldn't go anywhere, you know. So I was not stupid to walk on 87 and leave my personal Volkswagen back, because I was in love with my Volkswagen. It was a '67 Beetle. It was all psychedelic inside, and I thought, like, if I leave it, someone's going to steal it. So I remained in my Volkswagen, just listening to the radio, and then we decided that we're going to just drive back. And along the way, as soon as I got back, I called, I think I was friends with Alvin Lee during those years, from 10 years after. So I figured, you know, maybe they got a VIP treatment. Maybe they're flying up with a helicopter or something. Yeah. But we didn't have pagers or cellular phones or walkie-talkies or anything during those years.
KingstonPopMuseum.com is the website. Going to be a great weekend, and look forward to some other events and having you come back and tell some more rock and roll stories. We could go on for days talking
especially the Iggy Pop stories.
All right. Next time you come back, tell the Iggy Pop stories.
Excellent. Thank you for having me, and looking forward to Sunday.